Hi and welcome. I would like for us to dive directly into the subject of the spirit baby realm and pregnancy. You should know it by now. I've done quite a few videos on the messages that spirit babies and the souls of the babies, the messages that they would like to give to parents in order to conceive, in order for them to bring to this world a child. But today in this video, I'm going to address how the messages and the communication continues while you're pregnant. And in order to discuss that, I'm going to share with you my personal experience. So I have had a first pregnancy. I have a 2-year-old son, and I'm ongoing my second pregnancy. So what is very interesting, and one thing that you should understand, is when you are pregnant. So at first you get the messages from those souls who can potentially be your children, and then they interact with you. Maybe 1 or 2 will be selected, and they say, okay, if you want for me to come to this world, these are the changes that you have to do. This is what you need to understand. This is how you should adapt. And once the soul is ready to come, once you are aligned and attuned to one another, what happens is your auras, your energies are merging into one, and you are co-sharing the space. So, for example, right now you can't see it because I'm wearing a very loose top, but dress. But otherwise, here I am 6 months pregnant, and you can see that we are sharing the space. And in both of my pregnancy, I was having severe nausea. Now, a lot of people say, yes, it's a normal thing in pregnancy. Well, first of all, when I did some checking, not every woman has nausea. Not everyone is subject to vomiting when in the first trimester. And surprisingly, some women would have vomiting and nausea for 9 months altogether. Some would have it for 1 week. Some would have it for just the first trimester. And when I started digging, there is actually no research. There is, so far as my knowledge reaches, there is no scientific explanation about why women are undergoing nausea or vomiting during the first trimester. And the very known explanation is, okay, we are adjusting to the level of hormones that is rising in our body. But I still felt that something was off. And let's talk about the first pregnancy, because I had the nausea and I was really tired, and I was thinking, why do I feel like vomiting? You feel like you're seasick and you want to vomit. And I decided to go and see a healer. At that time I was in Doha, Qatar. And I thought I need to understand more about it. And I went to see this healer, and we went back to a time of Atlantis, and one of us, so I never got the exact information, but I know that there was one of us drowned the other one. And in that experience, I could feel the water coming into my mouth. And anyway, so what was interesting is I needed to bring peace upon the soul of my baby in the womb and mine, because we had, in that specific case, we had a karmic baggage that was not allowing us to co-share the space peacefully during the time of pregnancy. And I personally believe that whatever baggage you can clear before your child will be born, the better your relationship will be with your babies. So this is what I did, and 2 days later, the nausea was completely gone, the vomiting was finished, and I had an amazing pregnancy. Now, for this one, it started again right after the end of the first month of pregnancy. Heavy vomiting, really feeling sick, uncomfortable, and then started the restless leg syndrome. It's a very funny syndrome that makes your leg literally restless. So when you go to sleep, when your nervous system starts relaxing, actually your legs, you know how you feel when you're super excited about something and you're extremely happy, your body gets, that kind of sweet tension. Well, you start feeling that in your legs, and unfortunately, it keeps you from sleeping because your legs are so excited, they're so restless that you have to stretch them in order to release that sensation, and then it feels good. But the thing is that a few minutes later, it starts again. And I was thinking, that's it. I know that my baby is trying to tell me something. She wants me to understand something because our co-sharing of the space within the aura is not comfortable. We are not comfortable as it is. And I went to see another healer. So now I moved to France, and I went to see at first a massage lady who was doing also craniosacral therapy. And we did a session, and the messages that came through. So through her touch, I could feel the flows of energy, and it went right into my lungs. And what happened is, I forgot to tell you that the restless leg syndrome would keep me awake till 2-3 a.m. So I decided I needed to do something very quickly about that. So anyway, so I go see this woman. We do the session. She puts her hand, I remember, on the top of my feet. I could feel the energy. There was a pushing something right here, between the lungs and the shoulders. And I start having images of a man being hanged at the time of slavery. So a black man was being hanged, and I think I was a white woman, and I was observing the scene, and I was getting the message that this child wanted me to protect her. So it's a girl, and the message here was, my children are mixed colored. My husband is Sudanese origin, and they are now mixed. So she was saying that she is expecting that in this lifetime, I step up for her, that I protect her, and that I also step up to take action against racism or against her and against inequalities. And what was very interesting is when I went to do this session, I saw a time where, let's say, I witnessed a hanging, and it was very violent. It's a bit like in movies. There are a lot of people shouting, screaming, and I remember not feeling comfortable with what was happening, but I couldn't do or didn't choose to do anything about it. So the message was, you have to step up, Mom. You have to, silence can also mean that sometimes we allow things to happen, and I don't want that anymore. And it seems you've done it in the past, but now I will want you to be more active, to have the loved ones that you have feel more protected and feel loved. It's simply about acts of love, because sometimes when you grow into spirituality and you understand how the universe works and why we come in a certain body, a certain color, gender, religion, and so on, you tend to accept things saying, okay, this is how the world is, and we have to work on ourselves and we have to change. But here the message was bigger. It's like, despite the fact that you know all of that, the people that come into your world, the people that come into your family, will want to see acts and proofs of love for them, despite you knowing that things can be, that people have to work. Your work, this is you, Doris, your responsibility is you have to step up and have them feel protected and have them feel loved, because you need, I think, to understand compassion onto a deeper level, onto another level. So that was it. I did 2 sessions of craniosacral. 2 sessions were about the same message, but I went very deep into it. And once I got it, once I understood it, everything disappeared. After, I remember I was 4.5 months pregnant. The nausea disappeared completely. The restless leg syndrome disappeared completely. And since then, I have had an amazing pregnancy, a lot of vitality, a lot of energy. And another interesting coincidence is that even though I had already been attuned to Reiki energy, I decided to do one more level and to get my master degree. And I chose to do the complete attunement again for level 1, 2, and 3. And what was fascinating is that when I did the attunement while being pregnant, I felt that both of us were being attuned. And since that attunement, I have also felt a heightened level of energy, a heightened level of happiness, and an alignment and a level of love between my baby and me that went exponential. And that has been fantastic. And since then, I'm in top form, top shape. So why those messages are important is it's about, again, the spirit babies. Once they are in your womb, they will keep communicating with you. And how they communicate is usually through the body. Okay. And usually it will mean that you will be uncomfortable. You may be in pain. And I am on a lot of Facebook groups of pregnancies and women help groups and so on. And trust me, for a lot of syndromes, including the restless leg syndrome, a lot of people say, I've tried everything. There is nothing that you can do. I had to undergo it till the day I delivered. Once I delivered, I was freed. I have seen that for many syndromes. But in my experience, if you work on it, if you dig, if you try to find out what is your baby trying to say to you, why is this pregnancy a little difficult? Trust me, there's a message behind it. There is a lesson for you to understand. There is something for you to change. And when you take that step, you are liberated, you are free, and then it is back to, high vibration, happiness, and whatever you desire, whatever you want to manifest comes true. So this was my message for how it works, and how it continues, and how you continue receiving messages from your child while you're pregnant. I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me, to contact me, and I'd be happy to help. See you soon.